All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, for teaching us his truth. Salutations to the sincere Akim and Aqua to me listen. May the blessing of election be upon your house. My name is Brother Okwai. I'm back in here with another quick, on Lord's will, as always, an edifying lesson. And for today's lesson, I just wanted to go through these two words. Technically, it's really the same word, right? And I just kind of clear up a lot of things because what's really inspiring this lesson is all of these different protests that is occurring on these different college and university campuses, you know, in America as well as in Canada, over this, these bills and over what's going on in the land. And, they're throwing this word around, anti-Shem, around, right? So, and I've noticed a lot of people don't actually understand the origins of the word, and B, what it actually means, what it goes back to, so on and so forth, right? So that's really the title, and really that's really the purpose of me making this lesson, right? So hopefully, as always, Yahweh Ratiza, Yahweh willing, that this lesson may be edifying. So since I mentioned the condition of the people, let me get this precept here, right? Because really and truly, people have a lack of understanding of A, what's going on in the land, and B, the understanding the origins of words and the tricks that, Esau normally uses. So, just bear with me on this. I kind of want to make sure that this lesson is edifying as well. So Isaiah 60 verse 1, it says, "Arise, shine, for thy light has come, and the glory of the Lord Yahweh is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, gross darkness the people. But the Lord Yahweh shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee." Right? So what's going on in the state of the world today is the fact that people are very ignorant as to why and what's happening in the state of Israel, between Israel and Palestine. But that's not really the purpose of the lesson. It's really to go and discuss the jargon that is thrown around, because people think that when you criticize, what you can't do is criticize these JOOs. You can't criticize these people for the wickedness. Like, for example, recently in New York, when they found the hidden tunnels, and essentially, they found, what was it, baby high chairs, baby mattresses. Why is there blood stained on this? Like, they don't look into these particular things, and these people are in complete gross darkness, because they don't know the truth of who the real Israelites are, right? And why is that happening in the land? So the first thing I want to do is so Shem and Sem, right? So I have the two words here on the screen. Now, this is the word that they normally throw around, the anti-Sem, right? So the word is actually not Sem. The word is actually Shem, right? And the word actually goes back to Shem or Sham in the ancient Hebrew. Now, this particular name, who is this individual? Now, Shem is an actual son of Noah. Noah had 3 sons. He had Shem, he had Ham, and he had Japheth, right? So that's very, very important, because a lot of people don't know this information. So let me go to this quick precept. So then I want to bring out an article as well. Okay, so Sirach 44 verse 1, it says, "Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begat us, and the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai hath wrought great glory upon great glory upon them through his great power from the beginning." Right? So this is very, very important, because the ancient biblical Israelites came out of the line of Shem. So for example, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, as well as even other nations as well, came out of the line of Shem, right? So what's very interesting about this conversation is the fact that, okay, these people, when you criticize them, for example, you're so-called anti-Sem. But wait a minute, there isn't just one nation that's limited to that lineage, limited to Shem, because there were other nations as well as you Israelites came out of the line of Shem. And this is the point I'm really trying to stress here, because they're masquerading and making people think that they're the only one that came out of the lines of Shem. And no, and that's not true. Everybody has a biblical nationality, whether you know it or you don't, right? So that's really the point. So just to get that point, Genesis 11. Okay, Genesis 11 verse 10. It says, "These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. Shem lived and begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat the sons and daughters. So, and Arphaxad lived 530 years and begat Salah, and Arphaxad lived and begat Salah for 430 years and begat sons and daughters," right? So you understand and see what's going on here. So what's going on here, there's a lineage that's being tracked here. There's a seed line that's being tracked here. So notice they said that they begotten sons and daughters, but there's only one concern with these particular people, right? So going down, I don't want to make the lesson too long. So going down, I'm just going to read this next one here. So verse 25, it says, and verse 26, and Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now the generations of Terah, it says Terah begat Abram, who eventually became Abraham, a father of a multitude, Nahor and Haran, and begat Lot, right? So you see that there are many different generations that came out of this particular line. It wasn't just, for example, it wasn't these so-called fake JOOs, these Edomites. These people are not the only people who have a biblical nationality, and B, these people are not the only people that have and come out of the line of Shem. There were other, for example, there were other nations that came out of the line of Shem, right? And that's really the point to stress here, right? So I found this chart just as a quick example. Might have lost it. Just bear with me on this. Okay, I'll just click on this one just for reference. So here you have generations of Shem. So just what I read, right? So another example of a Shemitic race is the Ishmaelites, right? So these are the people. Esau is a Shemite, right? His descendants, Edomites. These people are also Shemites, right? And people, this is why it's so important to understand lineage, because the Bible deals with lineage and tracking a particular seed line. But the point really is that there are other nations that came out of the line of Shem, right? Now, let's deep dive into this word, because this word carries a very negative vibration, right? Because people don't understand words. Let's go to, there's an article I wanted to get quickly. Okay. Just bear with me. Okay, so it says on the screen, origins of the word anti-Sem. All right, so I want to jump down here. It says the term Semite which was first used in 1781 to define languages related to Hebrew, initially referred to people near of the East origin. The word Semite is derived from the name Shem. So this is just as I explained, right? So this is a tactical newspeak. So that's the next thing I want to hit in the lesson here, right? And I want to explain that. So just bear with me on this, right? It says the word Semite, it derived from the name Shem, the son of Noah, just as we read. Abraham was a descendant of Shem, right? And that's true. While there were varying groups who can be so-called Semitic, anti-Sem is specifically hatred and persecution of the JOOs, right? So, for example, if you so-called, I'm just going to use so-called Negroes as an example. You so-called Negroes, you cannot be anti-Sem if you also come from the line of Sem. You so-called Native Americans, you so-called speckled-bird Israelites that go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You so-called Latinos, right? You so-called, what do you call these people? The Arabs, for example, You people are also Shemites. And that's really the point here, right? So how can you, how can you be called anti-Sem when there are other generations and there are other lineages that came out of the line of Shem, right? That's really the point here. So further on, it reads, anti-Sem came about from its Germanic form in the mid-19th century. In 1860, an Austrian Jewish scholar, Moritz Steinschneider, introduced anti-Semit. I can't pronounce that. He used the expression in a piece. He wrote countering ideas of French philosopher Ernest Renan, who claimed that the Shemitic race was inferior to the Aryan race. The term anti-Sem was made common by Wilhelm Marr, a German publicist and agitator. Unfortunately, his 1879 pamphlet, The Way of Victory of Germanism over Judaism, in which he used the term anti-Semitismus, was very popular. That same year, Marr founded the League of the Anti-Semites, right? So this word was sparked and in response to a piece, sparked in response to a publishing. It never had anything to do with any particular hatred towards a particular group of people. And on top of that, a lot of you people who are protesting, you people are also Shemites. You cannot be anti-Sem if you come from the line of Shem. That's what I'm trying to reiterate here and share some light upon. Where was I? Okay, so that's pretty much about it, right? So I wanted to bring out that point. So let's get another scripture here. Okay, 2 Corinthians 10 verse 3, for it says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in pulling down of strongholds." And that's a stronghold that's on the minds of the people, because that word alone carries so much vibration. And Esau throws about that different word to kind of vilify and demonize the people when these people need to be looked into, right? So that's really the point here. Verse 4, it says, verse 5, "Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach, Yahushai," right? So this is a stronghold that's on these college students' minds. They ain't teaching these children anything anyway. But really the point is to break down those strongholds. And you people need to understand, a lot of you people are Shemites as well. You Israelites are also Shemites. if we're being very, very technical, right? That's really the point here. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, speckled birds, and go back to the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You people are also quote unquote Shemites. You are Israelites. That's the point here. Now the switching of the words, making the word Shem associated with Sem. So this is a tactic known as news speak. So Esau is very crafty with his words. So right, that's what's so important. I 100% agree when the apostles and elders say, look into the origins of words. Okay, so this is newspeak in the meaning on Google. Here it says, there was a good definition I saw earlier, Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'll just read what it says here. It says ambiguous, euphemistic language used chiefly in political propaganda. Deterrence is just newspeak for plain old threatening, right? So it's essentially it's a language that's it's very vague. It's not clear cut, right? It's very slippery, right? And this is the nature of a serpent. This is the nature of Esau. It's he's not a person of yay or nay. You might be like this for 1 second, and he might be then try and sow doubt after the fact, right? It's very, very, very serpentile, very, very crafty, right? This is why it's so important to know words and look up the etymology in the Greek and the Hebrew, to keep your lamps trimmed, because Esau will get you with these different words. I think that's in Psalms. What's that? I think it's 55. It's 55. No. Oh, it's 21. Okay. 55. Psalms 55, verse 21. It says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. His words are softer than oil, yet they're drawing swords," right? And this is the crafty nature of these people. And now they're going to use it to push forth legislation, and it's all being propped up by this propaganda. Like these people are always constantly being attacked, right? There is a spike in so-called hate crimes and so on and so forth, and they're going to use these particular things to essentially chip away at and reduce the people's freedom. And that's really the point here, right? So this is a tactic of the devil known as newspeak, something very, very important to know. The definition I saw earlier, I can't find it, but I found this word. I wanted to share it with you, brothers and few sisters, actually. Let me just go to the etymology really quickly. And I thought this is very, very interesting. This is a word I recently just learned today. It's called circumlocution. Okay, so this is the word I came across earlier today, and it says a roundabout way of speaking, studied in direction or evasiveness in speaking or writing. A speaking around. So circum means to round. It means a roundabout, and locutionem, it says speaking. So a roundabout, essentially a roundabout. Oh, a roundabout way of speaking. That actually goes back to locution. I think that goes back to like someone who speaks. Never mind. Anyways, the point really is that's really the point here, right? So Okay, Matthew 5 verse 37, it says, let your communication, Yahushua speaking, be yea, nay, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh evil. Right? So this is the way these elites, they speak, and they put this vibration through their different on TV, their legislations, their unrighteous decrees. As a matter of fact, let me get that as well, because they're going to use these particular tactics to create and put forth unrighteous decrees to get more control upon the people by what they say. Isaiah 10 verse 1, it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. And that lines up also in Micah, because they look to oppress a man and his household, and even a man and his heritage, to roughly paraphrase, right? Because what's happening with this particular event is really to to reduce the freedoms of your people, reduce the freedom of your Israelites, right? So that's pretty much the point. Hopefully, this lesson was edifying. I didn't want to make it too long, but I kind of wanted to make it as informative as possible, because we live in a time of prophecies, being brought forth, and this was really going to cause famine of the word, really, because there's only a limited amount of time where the prophets will no longer be able to speak on the streets with all this different legislations that are being put forth here, right? So anyways, as well, hopefully this was edifying, and I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem El Shai. Until next time, I say Shalom.